Good morning guys, it's time for a new vlog week. I uploaded my first one yesterday. I'm sorry it was a day late. I had some technical issues, meaning that I wasn't very good at editing and it took me a long time, but I'm sure I'll get the hang of it. Dimitri's just pumping the tyres up down there, you see him. Going to pick up our little girl from my mum's house and then heading out to the day to this like retail park for my sibling's birthday. They wanted to go and buy some things. We thought we'd all just join them and celebrate their birthday with them, and we'll be heading back home. So I've just been to a home birth workshop led by a community midwife in my trust, and there was a student midwife there and also a woman who's home birthed within our trust. And I just wanted to share some things that I heard and learned. Yeah, it was really great. I always had it in my head that I wanted a home birth for the second baby, probably immediately after I had my first. The midwife that we had the first time around was amazing, and when I was like in the hospital bed with our baby, she said to me, "You need to have a home birth next time. You'll be great and I want to be there." So she planted the seed actually with us about home births, and yeah, it's basically been my plan ever since. And it was just good to have loads of positive opinions around home births in a space, and hear good things and advice from people who have been there and the midwives that could potentially be there with us, and learn bits as well. Like, I didn't know that they bring like certain drugs to your house beforehand for you to store, and the gas and air and the oxygen canisters, they bring them for you to store beforehand. So it's always good to know these things and be prepared. Some really sad things as well, like the fact that the student midwife there has never been present at an entirely physiological birth, which is so sad. There's always been some sort of intervention. We know birth is a physiological process, and we know that the majority of women should have physiological births, but because birth and labour is so medicalised within the NHS that often women don't get the chance to. Yeah, they were just really empowering. I feel really good about going into labour for a second time. I've got a while left being pregnant, but I have no fears surrounding labour. I'm only excited about it. I do think I had a great birth the first time. There's certain things I wish that didn't happen, but I think the second time round we were already empowered the first time round, and I think the second time round we're just going to be even more empowered, and we'll be at home and I'll get to get in my own bed afterwards, which everyone says is probably one of the best bits. When you're in your own space, get to do things your own way, you're not on anyone's clock, which I know that I was even put on a clock in the hospital last time with our first, and I'm not willing to do that again. Very excited. It was great to see other women there. There was another woman there who was 38 weeks, so she was nearly there. She could go into labour at any point now and have her home birth, but she was really excited. It's really sad because she didn't even know that you could say no to things that the midwives and doctors tell you. It's meant to be a discussion obviously, but she didn't even know that you could say no to these things that they suggest, like induction or anything like that. And it's just really sad how birth has become so medicalised. And we just hear stories all the time of things that happen to women in labour that shouldn't happen. And I actually can't stop thinking about the woman who didn't know she could say no to things that the doctors and midwives say. Like, you don't have to have examinations to find out how dilated you are. A sweep is a form of induction. Like, all these things that if they book you in for an induction, you don't have to go to it. I've heard stories of women's inductions being booked at their booking appointment when they're 12 weeks pregnant, or 8 weeks pregnant, sorry, and they get a letter through the post saying your induction is at the next date. That's ridiculous. Why like if it's a low risk pregnancy, there is no medical need for induction. I think there's only a couple of situations where there's actually a medical need for induction. Obviously, medicine and hospitals and doctors have their place within birth. However, birth should be midwife-led. There's no way that a student midwife should become qualified having not seen a physiological birth. Ideally a home birth, because that's what the norm should be. It's really sad and it's really scary, and I'm hoping that home births continue to rise. I think the national average is like 2% of births. I've got friends who have been treated so badly within like labour wards that they would actually rather free birth without a midwife than go into hospital and have the baby, because they're just so frightened of things happening to them out of their control, like with first babies, or when you're a little bit less knowledgeable and you don't really know what's happening in your body with your first baby maybe. Whereas I feel like second time round you really will know. I'm hoping. I think so. I'm very excited to give birth again. I loved it the first time, although I ended up in hospital, I still loved it. Can't wait, I actually can't wait. I'm so happy to just continue to have time as three of us. God, she's crying. She's with her dad. I'm gonna go. So we've come to the studio for a shoot, right? And as soon as Dimitri walked in, he saw this pigeon. It's currently behind there, and he's just trying to like guide it out. He's opened that window, but the windows are so small that the poor thing just thinks the big windows at the top is where it can get out, and obviously it can't. So he's just trying to guide it out, but it seems like it's been here all night. It's literally stood on an open window. If this doesn't go out now, it's the most stupid pigeon alive. Come on, pigeon, you've got this. Go on. Oh no! Hi guys, we're just on our way to my midwife appointment, and Reggie and our little girl are joining me this time because I get to meet like my actual midwife at this point, the one that's going to take me through all the rest of my appointments hopefully. So hopefully we've got a bit of continuity of care, and this will be her for the rest of the time. We're hoping we get to listen to baby girl as well today. Hi everyone. We went to the midwife. We didn't actually get to meet my midwife, which was a shame. No continuity of care, but what can be expected? It's not their fault. The NHS is just a mess right now, particularly midwifery I know is really bad. They were lovely. I've got a student midwife following me. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. In my first appointment with this new trust, there was a student there. I received an email off her like a day later or something, asking if she could caseload me, which means that she will follow me along in my pregnancy, which was lovely. I'm so happy to have her on board. She's great. She's in her second year and seems really passionate about physiological birth too. I told her that I went to the home birth workshop, and she was just so excited about the fact that the midwife there was really passionate about physiological birth, and she even said that's just what you need, isn't it? So it's true, that is what I need. So having another midwife on board, student or not, that is passionate, shares that passion, is great. I've had my diabetes test results through the post today. The result is within normal limits and no further action is needed at the present time, which is great. I actually just wanted to talk a little bit about the GTT test. And some people are like, just have it done, and some people are a bit more weary of it. And I think it's just really like important to be aware and know that you can decline these tests, but also know the importance of them. Like for me, it's really important for me to know whether or not I have gestational diabetes, but I also didn't want to drink the glucose drink. It's not something that I wanted to do, and it's not something that I had to do with my previous pregnancy. So in the UK, only a particular group of women are screened for gestational diabetes, and I only had like a partial risk factor. The risk factors for gestational diabetes, according to the NHS, is if you're over 40, you have a BMI of above 30, you previously had a baby who weighed £10 more, you've had gestational diabetes before, one of your parents or siblings has diabetes, you are of South Asian, Black, African, Caribbean, Middle Eastern origin, and you've had gastric bypass or other weight loss surgery. So if you have any of those risk factors, you're automatically put forward for a gestational diabetes test. Now I have a partial risk factor in my opinion because I'm mixed race. Because of that I was put forward for the test. But I'm aware that gestational diabetes can be very dangerous, so it's not something that I wanted to completely just not get tested for. It's something I just didn't want to have. Just knew it would make me feel sick. I just knew that I didn't want to be in hospital all morning doing this test when I know there's other ways of testing. Anyways, I didn't have to do it. I had the other way of testing. My results have come back good, so that's fine. Today at my midwife appointment we got to hear baby's heartbeat, which was lovely. Our little girl was there, she got to hear it. Tameji was there, so he got to hear it, which was nice. My bed frame arrived a couple of days ago, so I'm just going to try and get it up. I've got to obviously clear out my room basically first, so there's space for me to do it. So I'll do that first and then I'll start putting it up. I'll probably be full of rage again by the end of it. Hopefully it won't be too bad. This is not IKEA furniture either, so sometimes I trust them even less. IKEA's the go of Flatpack, so I don't trust any other Flatpack to be honest. I'm already out of breath and all I've done is move my mattress and open the box. Oh my god, there's too many parts to it. What are all these little bits? Oh. I was doing it with this tiny little screwdriver that Tameji got me for my furniture quests. But on one side of the bed, I have to do this twice, I have to screw in 30 screws. So I just got the drill to do it because look at this. There's 10 in each plank. And I've got to do this twice. So there was no way that I could have done that just with that little screwdriver. I feel like this is going to take me hours. What time is it? 3:20. I reckon I've been doing it since 3 o'clock. Hopefully I've finished before it's bedtime. Well, I need to finish before it's bedtime. I'm on a time limit. What on earth does all of this mean? I just realised I messed up really bad. Oh my god. So, you see, obviously the side of the bed I've just started putting the lats in. So, the gap here is smaller than the gap here. And so this and that side are the wrong way round. They're both different ways, so the bed would be totally wonky. But I think the lower side, that side, I think that's the right way to do it. So I need to unscrew all of these that I've just screwed in and take it all out and then flip that piece around. I finished finally. I've been watching New Girl to make it easier, but it's 6:10. Took me over 3 hours. I did it wrong. I had to start again. Well, I didn't have to start again. I had to figure out a solution anyway. Did it, it's done. I'm exhausted and I'm going to go tell Demeji that I'm going to order some food for dinner instead of cooking because I can't be bothered. Literally just cannot be bothered. Thank God for Deliveroo. I can't wait till my bedroom's finished. I'm just going to make my bed, get everything back in its place and go and sit downstairs and get some food. I'm so over it. That's it for today. I need to go and eat.
I want to see Mama.
Cheese! Can I see your hair? It's hair day again, but I didn't film the process because she was so upset. All finished, but it's all done. I made the mistake of leaving it out all week, which every time I do it, I say I'm never doing that again. Because she just doesn't let me detangle it, she won't wear a bonnet, like it just ends up so knotty. So it's taken a while this morning, but we've done it and it's lovely and clean and detangled and in plaits, which means it's not going to get tangled for the week. Yes, darling? Yeah. Cheese! We've spontaneously decided to go over to Blackpool to see our friends. I'll show you what we get up to today. We were going to go into Blackpool for the day, but there's planned riots, so we will be staying out of there. Cheese! So yeah, we'll probably just chill at their house and let the kids play. Miranda is the best host. She's whipped us up a delicious looking lunch.
It might taste like shit, we don't know yet.
We'll see.
I have fart on it. Oh, sorry.
I feel shy now.
Don't be straight up, you okay?
Yeah, we're at our friends now, Miranda and Zach's, and our kids are like best friends, so they're just playing away. But I just wanted to tell you guys, it's so funny how we're all friends, because Miranda's like the best mum friend I could ever dream of. And the reason why I know her is because she, like 12 years ago, dated my fiance. So they dated over a decade ago. Thank God that teenaged them.
To get back with Demeji.
I always say thanks to the teenage selves for fancying each other, because that means now that I've got the best mum friend ever. Zach and Demeji get on, we get on, the kids get on better than anyone in the group.
Imagine if they didn't, that'd be so cringe.
And we're just forcing them to be friends.
Best friends, best friends.
I promise they're best friends, they love each other.
You should see them together. Best friends.
No, but they actually are. I'll insert a clip of them guys playing so you can see they love each other so much. They're always talking about each other when they're not together. And there's one way, if our daughter's upset, there's one way we can calm her down, and it's by showing videos of Woody to her, and she'll just like relax and watch them because she loves him so much.
Are you relaxing?
That's just day a woman watching steaks.
I got my maternity notes through the post yesterday. I requested them about 3 weeks ago because there's just parts of my labour that I'm like still quite unclear of what happened. The only medication I had was gas and air, but I'm very sensitive to pain medication, and so it had like a bit of a stronger effect on me, and I just almost have like black space in part of the labour that I just can't remember. So I really wanted to get these to fill some of the gaps. In my opinion, my first labour, oh she's kicking. She's so much more active than her big sister was. Although, saying that, last time I had an anterior placenta, which means your placenta's at the front of your tummy, which sometimes can mean you don't feel as much movement. and this time it's at the back, so I do really feel a difference. She feels very strong. Coming up to starting my prep for my second birth, there was a lot of things that like didn't sit right with me during my labour, or like made me feel uneasy. Don't get me wrong, I had a lovely, wonderful, relatively smooth labour. However, there's just some parts that were just, I don't want to say triggering, almost like not nice for me to remember. So I wanted to read this and have like a really black and white view of what happened. So yeah, I just wanted to go through some things on camera and read it and see. And onset of labour spontaneous, acute blood loss. So if I ever tell my full birth story, you'll get to hear about how I ended up in an ambulance, an emergency situation to the hospital. Summary of delivery. Female, she weighed 3,060 grams, she was very small, bless her. Spontaneous delivery, not a spontaneous third stage. I only had grazes. I didn't end up having to have stitches, which was wonderful. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't know they did this. Obviously they have to. I woke up with like an insane headache one day when I was pregnant with my first daughter. I was just told to have some paracetamol and go back to bed. It worked. Okay, so this is the triage assessment form from when I called when I was in labour. So contracting since 4 AM, it was actually 3 AM. Saffron attended maternity triage with presenting history as per front of sheet, accompanied by partner, breathing through well, introductions made. I was 4 centimetres dilated at that point, and I'd been in labour, so this was at 5:30, so I'd been in labour for 14 hours and I was 4 centimetres dilated. Yeah, Saffron keen to travel to birth centre now if possible. Yeah, and then the midwife's name is at the birth centre now and open and can take verbal handover given. Notes given to Saffron. Best wishes. Oh, that's so nice. I'm getting emotional. This is really emotional reading this. Using breathing techniques on admission. Yes, I got through how many hours of labour? I got through 15 hours of labour with just breathing techniques. Saffron hasn't been drinking a lot. I could not just physically get myself to drink. They kept having to put my straw in my mouth for me to drink. Standing upright and supported, my poor Demenci. Every contraction, all I wanted to do was like pull down on his arms. So that's what I was doing. I was just standing up, and then I feel like we get superhuman strength in labour, and I was just pulling on his arms. Oh, bless him, he dealt with it so well. He goes to the gym every day now, so he's ready for this time round. Yeah, pull, run, temperature 37. But then I went to the toilet and I came out, and that's when I realised I started bleeding, so she said I wasn't allowed into the water. So my last exam to check how dilated I was at 5:35 and I was 4 centimetres. And then by 7:15, not even 2 hours later, I was 9 centimetres. So that just shows you how fast labour can progress. And I think, and so do multiple midwives that I've spoken to, think that that's why I ended up bleeding, because my cervix just dilated so quickly. Yeah, blood loss, strong heavy blood loss, red and dripping. And then 7:40, ambulance called, category 1. And by 7:45 I was already on the trolley. but my estimated blood loss was only 50 ml, which I think now, while I'm at home, if I bleed the same and the midwives have said you've dilated really quickly again, I go from 4 centimetres to 9 centimetres in a couple of hours again. I'm staying at home. For 50 ml blood loss, 75 ml by 8 o'clock. Then my waters were clear at this point. I didn't even know they'd started leaking. I'm gonna say her name. I'll give her a fake name. Midwife Sarah taking over. Oh my god, she was an angel. We loved her so much. And then it changes to her handwriting. Dad's very supportive to Saffron. Again, Dad's supportive. Saffron coping with labour on all fours. And the doctor had come in at about 9:30 and she said, this upset me the most. Everything's going fine at this point. You can see that the midwives are writing like I'm doing well and everything's fine, and yet still will allow up to 22:30 then for review if not delivered. And we remember so clearly that the doctor came in, if you've not delivered by 10:30 I will have to intervene. Saffron's doing very well, encouraged and supported. Head advancing well. 17 minutes later, baby delivered. Mum having lots of skin to skin. Mum and Dad delighted with the arrival of their daughter. Oh. Mum. And I waited until I really didn't want any medication because I think I'd already been sick from the gas and air and obviously the intensity of labour. I'm really sensitive to medication and I really didn't want it, but we'd waited from, obviously she was born at 10 to 10 and then it was 11:30, give me the injection, and then it made me really sick. We got it out in the end. Baby's pink and alert and dressed now. I had a shower. One of the things that shocked me the most about post-labour is the midwives basically had to carry me to the shower because I was shaking. Like the adrenaline that's going through, like literally like I could not physically walk. Not wanting any food at present. No, I was so sick. Oh my god, this is why I don't want any medication this time. It's not worth it for me. I just feel so sick. Frustrates me so much about the medical system. Please don't get me wrong. Medical intervention is necessary and life-saving in some situations. Now for me, that was not the case. At 8:20, I don't know what time. Oh, we'd basically just got to the hospital at this point. Observe and possibly expedite the birth. Like you'd not even given me chance yet, and they already have it written down that they're going to possibly expedite my birth. Like you'd not even given me chance yet. And then one thing that I don't want to happen this time is coached pushing. I don't want them to tell me right now push, because our bodies just push when they need to. Like, really cool fact about the female body in labour is that even if you were paralysed, your body would push the baby out. That's literally what it's made to do. So I don't want any coach pushing this time. This has made me really confident in that because it says it's fully since 8:35. I think it means fully dilated. Involuntary pushing actively. Like my body was just doing it. Like I didn't have control. You can't stop pushing if your body's pushing. I'm glad she came. Literally 17 minutes after that was written. We didn't have to deal with someone trying to intervene. I'm feeling really confident about my second labour, and that makes me feel even better. It was really emotional to read them. Like really emotional. But I'm glad I did. And I'm probably going to keep going through them. Yeah, until fully like processed everything. Yeah, it's really great to have. It's given me a lot more confidence and faith. I'm really happy I've had the chance to go through them. I really recommend it. You can also ask the hospital for a review with a member of staff as well, go through everything with you. But I'm happy with my birth, but just certain things I wasn't happy with. It's the end of another vlog week. Thank you all so much for watching. It was heavy on the birth chat this week, but that's just life right now. Got birth on the brain. We're just gonna head out to Costco and grab some things. I'm really craving mangoes, so we're gonna try and get some mangoes and then just chill for the rest of the day before another week. We've got a busy week next week. Demetri's in London and we've got friends coming over. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please let me know if you'd like to see anything in particular. I am going to film my entire birth story as well, so hopefully I'll get that done this week and I'll just upload a totally separate video on that. Thank you. I'll see you next week.